All right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Let's go ahead and turn the music off and get ourselves stuck into here. Move this down. Turn that off as we get going. All right. Happy Monday to everybody getting in, getting going here. I have to admit something or give you guys alibi here. I just realized when I was logging in that it was saved to 3 hours from later from right now for the actual call, even though the calendars and everything else said 11 a.m. Pacific. For some reason, StreamYard and the YouTube channel, even though it was posted for this time, shows a couple hours later. So I think we're going to have maybe a little bit lower folks than usual on here today. And something interesting happened over the weekend that is a great case study and use case study for this. So what we're going to talk about today is like AI lead generation that actually converts with Leadsly and what we're doing. But I have a great case study to show you guys and gals as well. One of the big things is we have, a new group coming in. They probably watched the first or the second. If you guys haven't, if you're new, just put new in the chat. That way I know that you guys haven't seen the previous sessions and things like that. And then we're going to dive into something that I think is really cool right now that helps prove the concept, right? Let's talk about like lead mining and activation. And there's some things that we're doing and implementing, which we covered in session 2 to show you how we're doing our outreach, how we're getting responses. And then when somebody actually, validates that they are a business that either are potentially interested or they're responding, we're moving them to step 2 of the process and gave you all those snapshots and everything. And like I mentioned last week, everything that we're doing in here and showing you inside of Leadsly are things that are happening inside of our business as well, which I think is really cool to be able to share that with each and every one of you guys. So just do me a favor, give me a hi or yes in chat. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I just have to move the controller. Actually, let me just move this over to a separate browser for you guys. And then I'm just going to move this down. That way we get everything going up and running. And we're going to walk through a lot of cool things today with our visitor intel module, because I think this is a great way to, let me pull you guys back up. Hold on a second. This is a great way to show you how to do lead mining on your own pages, on your own website for folks that you've either reached out to that may have not filled out the form or started the trial or have gone through that process with you. So we're gonna talk about that here in just a little bit as we get in. Let me go into the comments and see. All right, cool. Got you guys from Oklahoma, from Texas. What's up, Dave? Now, Dave, you got in over the weekend. We had a little sign up hiccup for some of you, and you're able to get in, which is great. Out there in NYC. Cool. Great. So we had a couple of you on, and it looks like we may have sent an update because we do have a decent number of viewers on today, which is good for each and every one of you guys. All right. So here's what we're talking about. Let's talk about lead mining and activation for this session of what you should be doing next to be able to get yourself set up for when somebody does visit your site, somebody visits your landing page, or a service that you could potentially offer to clients as like a stage 1, stage 2 type agency that does bring you into that stage 3 level. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, stage 1, stage 3, it's what I talked about on the sales webinar in the process, right? A stage 1 agency is, you're newer, you're on that path where you're trying to find your first couple clients. Maybe you're selling websites, reputation, get an easy foot in the door type services for you. Stage 2 is you got a couple clients and you're looking to scale and you're looking to, basically create a system that's repeatable. And that's what we talked about in sessions 1 and sessions 2 of like what you can offer. In session 1, I gave you a very easy, simple offer with all the assets, everything you need, where all you have to do is just hook it up and just start having conversations. In session 2, I set you up for success with scalability, which is my snapshot that we're using to send somewhere between 75 and 100,000 emails this month to small business owners in different niches. And interestingly enough, I put it on the sales page over the weekend for Leadsy for those of you guys that joined. It was either Thursday or Friday. I don't remember. Maybe it was Thursday. I think I got a response back from the team. It's like we had 48 replies to our initial cold outreach in step one last week, or was it like even just maybe it was just on Thursday? It was in the acupuncture niche. So like I'm not gonna hide any of that stuff for you guys. You'll see the message if you saw that. So a lot of these, I'm going to call it like a higher end service, but your med spas, your Botox, your chiropractic, your acupuncture, like those folks are sitting in front of a desk, right? I talk a lot about home service companies, HVAC, plumbers, roofers, contractors, garage repair, things like that, of folks that we work in niche. And I think a lot of people think that that's like the only niche that you can go after, right? Because oh yeah, their jobs are a couple $1,000s a piece, or several $100s, and I can make a huge impact on that. Yeah, you can, but it's harder to break into. If somebody, your ideal customer profile, is sitting in front of that computer screen, for most of the day because they're at the desk, they're on social media, they're on Instagram, and got everything set up easily, where they're just sitting in front of a desk and they're trying to drive traffic for themselves, then you actually have the ability to reach out to them and have that conversation in a much easier capacity, because you're not trying to reach a guy who's got an old brick phone that is barely checking his emails because he's out, on a roof, or he's driving job to job. You've got somebody in the office. So we started expanding outside of the home service company spaces, and those are a couple of niches that worked out really well for us, and we're able to generate those leads. A couple other ones in, I don't call it home service, but we actually had two towing companies sign up actually for trials, for the 10-day trial over the weekend. I don't know how they found us. We haven't gotten that far. I asked my team earlier today. I'm assuming it's through some of our AICO and things like that. But that's another niche that you can go after, right? That obviously is paying attention to reviews and reputation right now. So those are some good ones and things that you need to take a look at as we go in. But when it comes to lead mining and lead activation and things like that, there's something built into Leadsly that is very, very powerful. And I compared it this morning against another software platform that I spend. It's like $37.50 a quarter. So what's that, like $1,200 a month on for two of my clients to go do some visitor resolution. Visitor intel is what we're calling it. They're calling it like anonymous resolution and things like that. So we do test, right? And I still pay for that service, and I'm locked in for another 9 months or 6 months or so. And it's intentional because they do offer some other services and things like that. But we want to make sure that like what we have and what we provide is as good or as better than what we're actually using and setting things up as we go. So Briggs just asked, hey man, how do you feel about a detailing business? I love auto detailing businesses. The guy that we actually used to work with back in Scottsdale and Phoenix, where Cave Creek is where he was out of, he owned a mobile detailing business, and a lot of them tend to be like your younger kids, go-getter. I mean, I remember when this kid had like not to say a beat up old truck, but like, a couple years old truck with just him doing the work with a trailer, right? That cost him a couple grand to get up and running. And then that's the mobile detailing. You could also do like on-site auto detailing as well. Another great business, right? Because it's a couple $100s a job. He can do anywhere from 5 to 10 a day. But I watched this kid, and now he's probably mid 20s, but he was very early 20s. I don't think he was a teenager, but he was like very, very early 20s. Just legal at like 21 to drink and things like that. I watched him upgrade his business to where he had actually hired a couple of other folks when they came in and cleaned my Urus at my office one time. And then obviously I moved, right? But since then, I still follow him. I think maybe on Instagram, it was like Impeccable Mobile Detailer or something like that. And I watched him then go to where he has a brand new big F-250, 350 trucks. So like, $75,000, $100,000 a truck, couple different guys driving around for him. His truck is obviously the nice one. So yeah, mobile detailing is great because a lot of those guys are hands-on. They care about services and reviews if you're offering that type of service. But with Leasley, you can do Visitor Intel, who's been searching you from there. So yes. Also, that is a great company to work with for products like LoudAF.ai, right? With LoudAF, that's social posting, social content creation, things like that. So yes, I do. I'm very, I don't say like I'm bullish on that, but like I do think that is a great niche in an industry. What I would recommend though, is you guys have heard me talk about home service companies, med spas, acupuncture, now mobile detailing, right? That's not a home service company, but it's an auto service company. I love auto service companies. Pick one. Okay. Pick one niche to start with, be the guy in that niche. That's how everybody I know that grows to 6, 7 figures and have massive quality agencies is they learn how to speak the language, they speak to that business, they understand what they're doing from there. So that would be my recommendation for you. Now, one of the ways to prove your value and to prove who you are and what you do is to lead by example, right? And I try to do that inside of our school community at agencystarterkit.com. I'll put the link down below the video as well. So one of the things I like to do is lead by example and show you guys that yes, we actually eat our own dog food. We practice what we preach. I show you guys that yes, obviously I can only show you certain things. My clients, a lot of them, I have permission to show you their stuff. I just don't just for them not getting harassed and things like that. But I can show you some of the results and things that we get. So one of the big things for this is Briggs says, awesome, man. Exactly what I'm thinking of doing. Really, yeah, cool. One of the things is like showing you guys that like we actually do use it. And I'm going to show you guys that right now. And Barry can send me a PayPal if I owe him $10. I'll figure out who he is and what we own. I'm sure that's a joke though. Because I don't bet. So must have bought a domain or something. Tell Barry I said hi. Anyway, one of the biggest things here with this as we get going is being able to show the business owner that you can actually deliver on your promises. And if you can't deliver on the promise, your offer has to be so good that they won't say no, the irresistible offer, the mafia offer, whatever you want to call it, right? So that's why when we started in phase one, we talked about doing the 10 reviews in 10 days for free. We're actually updating our site. I've got Dom on my team updating the whole website and things right now. We're actually adjusting some of the things that we're doing because we have a landing page for that, but we're actually changing the way our company approaches and looks at things when we go out for this cold outreach. So we have this landing page, but people are going to be looking at us from different sites as well and coming back to our main site. So we're actually adjusting around there to make sure that each of you can keep up and have the ability to do exactly what we're doing, i.e. lead by example. In session one, I gave you the exact landing page that we are using right now. Now, that is a great way to get folks into your reputation, your Reviewly offer, whatever it is for yourself. Plus, I also gave you your own authority page where you can have your own mini website that talks about the services with Reviewly, right? But maybe you want to offer something else. Maybe you want to offer a product or service to get yourself from stage 1 or stage 2 up to stage 3. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to move myself off the screen. And I'm going to share my screen with you right now. I'm going to put me down here in the corner. From there, you guys should be able to see my screen. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So are you guys able to see this? Kind of zoomed in for you. Just give me a yes or a no. I should be able to see, actually, hold on a second. It didn't zoom in. It zoomed you guys in over here on this browser. Give me 1 second. I got to do this browser. There we go. All right. So I was zooming in on the wrong browser. So this is my demo account. So this is obviously connected to Reviewly for us. That's the website URL. And this is just so we know where it's set up. And you can see we've generated, 69 leads. I think I'm going to refresh this right now. And this went up, I don't know, a week or two ago. So I'm going to show you an example of what we've done for customers. And I'm going to tell you a quick little story. Okay. So you can see that it's syncing for right now. And then when it's done syncing, it should probably be about 100 or so, unless we took it overall down, and then it's got 69. Yeah, so I took this down because you're going to see what we did for one of our other landing pages specifically here in just a few minutes. Okay, so one of the things that I want to talk about is setting it up so you can go through and use the visitor intel to help you data mine folks that are on your website and then reach out to them. I've actually seen this where agencies that I know and have met and went to their website have done it for me as well. And this was completely out of blue. So it actually works out perfect for you. I actually had a indoor golf company do the exact same thing to me over the weekend. And I know I didn't fill out anything on their website. And they actually are now messaging me because I visited their site. And then after the fact, I did actually purchase something small from them, but I was actually looking for a projector upgrade for my indoor golf simulator so that the video games and the movies in the garage that we set up for my family can actually like match the quality of what's on the HD TV off to the side. So I was looking and going through and shopping, and interestingly enough, actually, let me just go ahead and show this. I actually took a screenshot of this so I can show it to you guys. This is an email that went out automatically to me. It went out. Let me go ahead and show that screen for you guys. This went out to me just a couple hours after I visited the website yesterday, okay, or the day before. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of the 2 days. And this is exactly what I was teaching you in session 2. And this actually blends session 1, 2, and now 3 all together. Because what they've done is they've resolved through visitor resolution or anonymous resolution, a site pixel, whatever you want to call it. We call it visitor intel, right? They resolved who I was on their site. And they sent me an email. They noticed that you were looking for what the product was on our site, and then just reach out to me and, hey, do you have any questions? That was it, right? So I'm interested, like, hey, how are they finding me from there? And I've got some clients that I want to show this as an example to. That wasn't just me setting it up. So I'm actually in their HubSpot, right? So they basically took my contact information from visiting their website, put my email in their system, and then sent me a basic cold outreach asking if I wanted any help. So it wasn't salesy, just kind of like, hey, we noticed and set up for this. This is exactly what you can do for your clients, right? And you say, hey, look, if you noticed, we were able to find out who you were and reach out to you. If you'd like any more information on a service like this, let us know. So what I would recommend is going in to your visitor intel, adding a new pixel, right? And then putting that pixel on your template that I've given you. And then all you need to do, now this is your site, and I did this for all of my sites. And if you use Lovable, which is who I use for like these landing sites and things like that. Also, if you use WordPress, it's a quick little plugin as well for like a header footer plugin. All you need to do is go in here and tell Lovable, in this case, all you need to do is go in here and tell Lovable, add this to the header or add this to every page on the website, and then test it, make sure it works, and it does. And then as you can see here, it starts generating leads for the business. Now, what you can do is when those leads come in, right? We talked about all these, I guess I'm looking at some different roofing companies as well. All these leads that come in, and we'll cover this on the next call, you can tag them and then push them into your high-level account, your Instantly account, wherever you set up from there, right? So now somebody just asked, hey, look, don't they need prior consent when emailing a consumer? Yes, they should, right? I'm not going to get into that because you guys are working with businesses, but for B2B, and that is a great point for somebody that mentioned that, right? I didn't want to reply to the guy and say something about that. But I am looking, and I was a consumer. And it was a great case study for me to put out. But if you're talking to a business owner and you have their contact information, then that is something that you can look at from there. So that's something that I want to make sure that you guys understand, that if you put this on just your lander, say, hey, look, I noticed that you were looking at our review multiplier program. Do you have any questions about getting set up or anything about the trial? Right? You can then start that conversation. Also, and we talk about this on the webinar that you guys saw, is you can now take that email address, put it into Facebook, retarget them. That's actually what indoor golf should be doing for me. They should be running ads, although I'm not really on Facebook, to my Facebook, Instagram accounts from there. Also, they could pick up the phone and call. If it was a business, right, not a consumer, if it's a business, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, those of you guys visited the site from there. And then those are some of the big things that you can take away from just adding visitor intelligence on your own sites. You're also now leading by example. Hey, I noticed this. I was able to get your information. How would you like for us to resolve some of those visitors on your website as well? So those are some things that you guys can do, setting up in the system, in the process, to be able to get yourself up and running. Does it work? Absolutely. Now, I'm showing you my demo account here, right, to go in and you can see the leads that are in here. So to prevent showing any data for one of my clients, because we actually have a live account as well. This is my demo account, as you guys can see. I have a live account here, and this is just a screenshot image. I don't know if I can zoom in on this. I don't think, oh, there it is. So it's not gonna, I can only zoom in, zoom out. So you guys have to take this as you can see it. So let me go ahead and throw that back up on the screen. So I can't zoom in on this, but this is an image, right? So you'll be able to see the visitor resolution here, the number of leads, and then you can go in, you can see this is the image of my live account right here. And what I was able to do is, there you go, for one of my clients, obviously we've resolved for our main website 100 leads in the last week or two. I'm playing around with some of my Winged and Pass stuff. We haven't gotten anybody there. And then I've got over 1,000 potential business leads for one of my clients that works with contractors. So this is extremely powerful. And I had a meeting earlier this morning with the client. And you can see also I've got some other folks, a lot of you guys visiting Leadsly as well in the last week that we were able to resolve. So with my client, what we're doing is, because they are small business owners that they're reaching out to, we are now putting them into actually my client's HubSpot as well. So the biggest thing for that is we now have an additional way to reach out to our clients' potential leads through retargeting on Facebook, picking up the phone and calling them. We could even, in some cases, direct mail them or put them into an email outreach and or nurture sequence based on what we created last week in step 2 of session 2. And then the week prior in the initial outreach is what our offer is that I'm giving you guys for Reviewly, where you can copy and make it work from there. So one of the things I wanted to do today was now take what we have from the example and then write a cold outreach email to a business owner from there. Do you guys want to do that? Give me a yes or a thumbs up that you guys want to write what that email is, and I'll do it live with you right now, and I'll put it in there. If you guys don't need it, put don't need it, and we won't waste your time or anybody else's time, and we'll talk about when the next call is. So, all right, let me go ahead and put the comments in here. Yep. So I got a yes from here. We addressed the previous. Cool. And then awesome. Cool. You're welcome, Briggs, for that. And then, Dave said, yes, please. Okay, cool. Awesome. And then we talked about how I feel about businesses. Awesome. Okay. So let me go ahead and turn this off. And then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually move myself over. I'm going to open up my chat. Let me just open up chat real quick. And then I'm going to take the image that I've got that I gave to the team member here. I'm going to see if I can just put it right in the chat. Okay. Nope, it's not going to take it. Let me go ahead and drop that into, hold on a second. Let me just download it. Okay. So now let me just close this. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me open up my screen so you guys can see me. And I've opened up Chat GPT from here. So now, so I am, where's the landing page? There we go. Let me just figure out what this preview looks like here. This is your landing page preview, right? Okay. I am using pixels to resolve I'm just going to spell that wrong probably. Visitors on my site here, right? I'm going to give it the site so it knows the copy. Okay. I need a 3 email outreach sequence over 3 days to a business owner. Actually, let me just zoom in so you guys can see this a little bit. To a business owner that shows them and demonstrates the power of our SaaS and the ability to resolve anonymous visitors. So I can call, text, email, and retarget via Facebook. Also note, these are B2B, oops, B2B, not B2C in this scenario. All right, let me close my window real quick. The landscapers are outside. All right, sorry about that. Looks like the landscapers came outside. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the image that we had for my downloads. I'm going to put that in there. Boom, and that is the image of what we had talked about here. And then no, yes, a lot of yes pleases from there. All right, does that make sense to everybody? Give me a yes or a no on what I'm doing with this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually write this. I'm going to give it to you guys from there. No, put a yes in the chat as well. I want to make sure that you guys get this and that we are good to go on this. Okay, I'm just going to take a look. Cool, got the yeses coming in. I know this takes a couple seconds for me to see it, so I'm going to hit go on this. All I'm doing is I'm just giving an example to chat and telling it what I want, right? Depth and strong angle, you're not selling pixels, you're selling identified buying intent, right? Since this is B2B, it paints different. They care about the pipeline, book calls, revenue, okay? We're going to leave with a pattern interrupt. And by the way, this is what my writing is as well from here. So you've got the pattern interrupt, show them you see activity. Escalate the pain of the anonymous traffic, demonstrate power resolution, position your SaaS as an unfair advantage, and then each email with a simple reply trigger. Pretty simple, okay? So couple options, right? Yeah, and there's companies on your site yesterday. Quick question about your website traffic. This is happening on your site right now. So this is not exactly what it means, right? So this is a pretty good update, but we need to make sure that we understand that we talk to them about this is what we saw you on our site. So chat may have gotten this wrong. Okay. Cool. Yep. So this is actually not too bad. That would actually work out pretty well. Okay. We need to do something along the lines of like, I need a little bit of an edit that talks about how they were on my site and how they could use the service like I did to them. Keep it super simple, right? Okay. There we go. Demonstration. Okay, cool. Yep, there we go. So this is a little bit more clear of what I want from here. And then you were on my site. Um, quick question about something interesting. This is how I'm emailing you. I like this one, right? So and so you're on my site recently. Most people don't expect that to be visible. Again, this is US only, right? For most of it. We use visitor intelligence layer that resolves anonymous traffic. That's how I'm reaching you. Instead of waiting for forms, I can see companies, what page they visit, how they engage, follow up intelligently. Here's a question. If I can see you, how many companies right now that you don't know about worth a quick look? Is that a pretty powerful email, you guys think? Basically, hey, I noticed this, and would you like the same thing? Do you guys think that this would get you some referral traffic back as well? Yes or no? All right. I'll wait for you guys to comment. Yes. Okay, cool. Got that as well. Awesome. Now, day two, the demonstration angle. What you're missing, 95% you never see. You just experience this, right? Just experience this firsthand. Between traffic and intelligence, most B2B companies losing most of their traffic, right? All stuff that makes sense. I like it. And then day three, the power close here changes outbound. Traffic's not the asset. You were anonymous. Now you're not. I like that. So now this is all high quality content for folks that visited my site. This, for any of your websites, any of your agency sites, anything that you see, this could be really powerful, right? So these are all great things that you guys can put in. I'm going to put this copy into the members area for this from here. And then how many of you would use something like this in your own agency or business? Put a me. Yep. CTA was, hey, worth a look at the bottom. And then obviously we're not putting any links in here for better deliverability for them to respond. How many of you guys would use this if I put this into a snapshot for you? Right? If I just gave you a quick little anonymous resolution snapshot, right? Maybe I have it done by Thursday or the end of the week for you guys. Let me go ahead and put that as my note. I got one. David says me from there. And then you can implement this. Eileen, what's up? So you guys would use that. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll give you both, for snapshot one for outreach. And then I'll give you snapshot two is like hey, we saw you on our site. How would you like this for your company as well? And we'll give that to you guys for the next call from there. Big question for you with that. How much would you guys think you charge for a service like this? How much do you think you could charge? Now, obviously, they have to have traffic, right? Like indoor golf has traffic. You can see that my client site, they received 1,000 anonymous visitor resolutions. They're driving a couple 100,000, uniques a month from there as we get in. So would you guys use that? Like, yes, absolutely. Can you benefit from it? Yeah. What do you think you could charge? Look, you could charge anywhere from a couple $100 to several $1,000s a month, right? I'm actually paying somebody else for the exact same service, worse than what I have, but there's some other things involved in it, like $1,250 a month. Okay. I actually have clients that are paying anywhere from $1,700 to $4,000 a month for these type of services. It depends on the value that you bring. And then this also brings you a monthly flat tier, maybe tiers. Yeah, you could do it based on the volume, right? The number of visitors up to 500 resolutions, up to 1,000. That's a great point from there. We can talk about that packaging and stuff on the next call, but that's something that you guys can use with this as well. So I'm going to have the snapshot built. I probably have it built the next 48 to 72 hours from the team for you. And then we're going to do our next call. Either, let's see, hold on. What's next week look like for me? We could either do it next Monday, or you can do it even as soon as Thursday of this week at the same time. Do you guys want, I'll give you guys a copy from there. You can ask a question. Yes, sure. do you guys want to do it this Thursday at the same time as we're doing it right now? Or would you rather wait until next week and do it next Monday? And I'll have to find a time that works for everybody for the next session. Thursday, says Eileen. Let's go faster. Somebody said Monday, please. Okay. I have an opening on Thursday, so let's do Thursday. Right now, I'll actually make sure and I'll deliver the snapshot to you on Thursday as well. And then obviously in the members area for you guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, and then a couple Thursdays are coming in, right? I'll put these in there, and in the members area inside of the school group at agencystarterkit.com, you see that we're live right now in the classroom underneath Leadsley. It will be in session 3 where today's call will go, and I'll put that copy here shortly, and then you can see session 1 and session 2 will go in. You can see if you have any questions, session 1, session 2, session 3 from here. So you can set this up from there, and then I will put these two. I'll put both copies in there. I'm going to put the second one first from here, and then as soon as the snapshot's in there, it will be there as well. All right. And yes, Dave, it will be at the same time. Great question. And I will not screw that up. I'll schedule it today for you guys right after this call. I'll get that up and running and into StreamYard for everybody. Okay. It's going to take me just a little bit of time today to get that up and running, but we should be good to go. All right. Question, how can I get leads for LMS, custom LMS or coaches or instructors? If you're looking for specific, so David will be at the same time. If you're looking for, I'm not sure what LMS coaches instructors is. I think it's local marketing services. So if you go inside of the software, and then here, let me just show you what it's going to look like in here. If you go inside of Leadsley and you go into your leads, if you go into all leads, you go into, go to get leads, the classic search, and you go into high intent leads. You can create a new category. This will create one specific to you. And then you can try to request that in and put, some information here of what you're looking for, and they can try to create you a custom category. Can't guarantee. We have like 1,400 categories that we can go through and try to find, but they can try to help you dig into that a little bit deeper from there. So that's what you're going to look for to be able to do that for you. So cool. Yep. And that should be able to get in. If you have any questions, email the support team. And then for the support, right now, still support at jeffhershey.com. I'm just checking in, managing, because I still have access to that desk before we put somebody on that desk full time from there. And then that'll be up and running for you guys anytime you have any question from there. So, all right. Anything else we can cover on Thursday in about 72 hours from now, 3 days. We'll go through Thursday. We'll walk through the next steps of this. I'll deliver the snapshot, and then we'll talk about finding leads and connecting them into your high level, your instantly, your webhooks, and how to tag and sort and filter, I think is what we'll do on Thursday from there. But we'll make sure that you guys are good to go. Other than that, hope you guys all had a great weekend. Looks like my banner is still up from there. Oh, it keeps it up for 60 seconds. That's why. If you have any questions, you've got the support email from there. Anybody that joined over the weekend, welcome. If you have any issues or questions, DM me in the school group. Use the support desk. We'll make sure that you are good to go. Have a great rest of your day. And then I will see you guys all on the live call on Thursday. I'll get this up here within the next hour or so, and then you'll have everything you need to be able to lead by example when it comes to visitors and anonymous resolution, doing your outreach, and we can talk from there. Have a great one. Talk to you guys all real soon. Cheers.